This is Kung Fu on Guangzhou, Plains of the Dragon.
So let's get into the card. Night one. Let's get into some of the matches on the card for night one.
All right, for night one, we started off we actually didn't start off very well because there was a freaking weather delay thanks to Tampa Bay being the lightning capital of the world.
Yeah.
So I actually read online that shit was very close to being canceled, like the whole card, like for a whole nother night. So they were lucky that they even got there even to pull it off. So it was just like a whole year wait, see some fans in the crowds or whatever, and then like they got to wait even longer. So they did a good job of delaying. I think they stalled for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then boom, hit you with the first match. You got Bobby Lashley trying to retain his title against Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. If this was pre Kofi Mania, Lashley would have lost.
If it was pre Kofi Mania, you saying Bob would have lost?
Yes. If this was like 4 years ago, Lashley would have lost this shit tonight, that night. Like, I guarantee it, because it's just WWE's track record of, let's face it, having black talent at WrestleManias and the main events. It's not really a good one. I'm still feeling the effects of Booker T losing Triple H at 19. That shit still sour, man. I still salty over that shit. That shit was ridiculous.
Someone like you doesn't beat someone like me.
Right. But it was a good match, man, with Lashley and McIntyre, man. Just two heavyweights going at it. Technical. It was technical. It had some power moves. Freaking McIntyre did the front flip over the freaking top rope, and MVP and Lashley didn't even catch him. They didn't catch him, man. Right on the freaking. But the camera angle was smooth enough so it could disguise it a bit. But yeah, in my opinion, if you're over 6 foot, no more going over the top rope outside the ring. Done. I got Undertaker flashbacks against Shawn Michaels where the fucking cameraman missed his cue, and Shawn had to push him in the way to try to catch Undertaker, and he didn't catch Undertaker. So
Divomania is running wild, brother.
Divomania is running wild. Yeah, if you're over 6 foot, don't do the front flip over the top rope anymore. That they should cancel that. But no, I was entertained, man. My family was watching. We were all rooting for Bobby Lashley because, man, it's just a scary track record. Like we said, honestly, if McIntyre would have won that night, it'd been like, yep, I saw that coming. You know what I'm saying? So I was pleasantly surprised that Lashley won, and I know he got the assist from MVP. He's playing the heel right now, but he looks strong, and McIntyre still looks strong with the loss, dude. McIntyre is a good talent. He's gonna be in the WWE for a long time, man. So big ups to both of them, man. Right. I give it like honestly, after all the bullshit I've seen throughout the last year and a half, I give that shit 4 stars, man. 4 stars. What you got?
And if we're my bad. Hold on. Not to interrupt you, brother. And if we're being fair, I mean, Bobby Lashley obviously is in great shape, but if I had to guess, he's at least 5 to 6 years older than Drew McIntyre right now. If it's a situation of who needs to be the champion more at the moment, the obvious choice has to be Bobby Lashley, because 4 or 5 years down the road, I don't think he's even going to be wrestling anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess my take about the Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre match was there's 2 thoughts that ran across my head during that match.
Okay.
Obviously, it's because Drew McIntyre, he won WrestleMania last year, and there was no crowd around, so I just thought that he was going to get title to actually get that live reaction from a crowd, stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that'd be something. However, Bobby Lashley, man, when he came in with that new entrance, the new entrance, the Almighty, I'm like, okay, so yeah, you gonna try to put some stock in this man. You got definitely want to go ahead and put some respect on this man's name, like literally, because yeah, man, because when Brock Lesnar left WWE at one point, Bobby Lashley came in as the next, with the next initials of BL, Bobby Lashley, and
Fucked it up too.
Yeah, so he was like the Black Brock Lesnar, so you definitely want to try to keep that up, and keep his stocks high and stuff, because I still think to this day stuff like that, man. If they keep doing what they're doing right now, man, they need to go ahead and match him up with Brock Lesnar. It's about that damn time,
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's owed it. So I feel like that if you keep MVP being the mouthpiece, just like how Paul Heyman was the mouthpiece of Brock Lesnar, and they would have been doing that, then I'm pretty sure that there's going to be enough stock for Bobby Lashley to face off with Brock Lesnar in the future at some point in time stuff. But other than that, yeah, I think that was what's needed, man. And honestly, I thought that there was in this match there was some sense of unfairness because MVP barked up some words that distracted Drew McIntyre, which made him the loss. I honestly thought it was going to be a different way of an unclean win, which is the Hurt Business was going to that whole debacle of what they were going on in the back on the stage and in their storyline, how talking like, the Hurt Business is not no more. I just thought that it was going to be some like a Fugazi and some shit like that, where it's just like, they put the blind over your head and the Hurt Business reunites and you got Shelton Benjamin and all that stuff like attacking Drew McIntyre when the ref is not looking, just for Bobby to get that win. But no, it was a singles match, no outside interference besides the MVP saying some bullshit, but that was about it, and I'm happy for Bobby Lashley, and I just hope that he continues to carry that title. I mean, hopefully he'll have a long streak with it and not lose it in 90 days, but we'll see. We'll see.
Right. What do you thought about it, Jackson? About the result?
Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting to me how you could get out of touch with something and then there's something that kind of draws you back into it. For me, learning that Bobby Lashley became WWE champion kind of piqued my interest for WrestleMania because Bobby Lashley was around when I was still watching wrestling back in high school. So him retaining, oh shit. Damn, did y'all hear that? My bad, bro.
No, you're good.
Y'all didn't hear
anything.
Yeah, it's off in the distance.
My bad, dog. I just got like an alert sent to my damn phone.
Nah, you straight.
It happens.
But like I was saying, for me, knowing that Bobby Lashley was wrestling back when I still watched it, finding out that, years later he ends up becoming the champion, that's something that I'm more interested in. I was still surprised that he won the match because in the back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, Drew McIntyre won the belt in the empty arena. Maybe they want to give him that moment to kind of make up for it. And I agree with what you said before. If this was a different scenario, Bobby Lashley is losing that title, no doubt in my mind. But I'm glad to see it. I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not waiting with bated breath for anything from WWE. Their track record suggests that more than likely they're going to fuck up this run, but we'll enjoy it while it lasts. All right, so moving on to the main event of night one. Yeah, man, I read nothing but good things about this match all throughout Saturday night, all throughout the timeline. There was a lot of praise being heaped upon both competitors for the main event of this match. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. Talk to me.
All right, I'll go first here. I've been for Bianca Belair, man. I've been kind of I didn't really know who she was until probably this last year. I saw on YouTube. I saw women's matches of NXT. I saw highlights. I just saw this freaking fit ass black woman with this long ass ponytail beating the shit out of people, and I was like, who the hell is this? This was kind of like a revelation to me about the women's matches and the women's talent in wrestling. So I didn't know who she was, but I knew that with the ponytail and everything, like she was just one of those people who was kicking ass in WWE Women's Division. And then my sisters actually became a fan of her, shortly, a little bit at the Royal Rumble. They kind of discovered her and saw her YouTube videos of her fitness, her charismatic appeal, and I really think that they made the right decision on this because she was kind of a mid card, kind of a jobber, unknown talent. So she obviously has kind of the chops to break into the mainstream, and she has some of the in-ring work for sure to deliver some solid matches. Obviously, with her power, man. I thought they showcased. Sasha did her thing as a heel. I thought the build-up was kind of weird because they had him as tag team, paired up as a tag team and kind of buddy for like the last month and a half before they fought at WrestleMania. So there really wasn't any real heat and animosity between the two of them in my eyes when they finally meet at WrestleMania. Sasha with her green and black color scheme kind of seemed like a Disney fucking villain as a heel, and she did her thing, grabbing her hair, stomping her out, using some classic heel tactics and aggressiveness. But Sasha, man, I mean, Bianca was showcased very nicely with strength, with power, with some grace, freaking holding Sasha up in the air with like a shoulder press kind of carry on through the steps into the ring. Like she did her thing, man. It was a good match. I like the finisher with her using her hair as a whip. Shit sounded. I don't know how they fucking. I don't know how legitimate this was, but she whipped the shit out of Sasha near the end of the match, man. You can hear that shit throughout the damn stadium, dude. And after she won, fucking Sasha had like a mark on her side. I'm not sure if it was real or not, but they sold the shit out of that. So that was a job well done, man. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars, man. I really enjoyed it. It was an entertaining match. They have all the right stuff with Bianca, and it's up to WWE to kind of coast her into even higher plateaus of success. So it was cool, man. I enjoyed that match a lot. What you got, O?
Shit, 2 black women main event in WrestleMania night 1. Like that's a story to tell of all ages, stuff like that. The fact of the matter is, you got black folks. On top of that, women main events and stuff like that. It's just one of the things that it was one of my happiest moments out of the WWE. I'm glad that WWE has rose to the occasion and stuff like that, and actually and it puts respect and some stock into the wrestlers of color, especially with Vince McMahon's standards, stuff like that. So I don't want these motherfuckers be holding these titles, stuff like that. You know how Vince McMahon could be, stuff like that. But it seems like he's let go of that clutch and stuff like that. But now I've been a fan of Sasha Banks when she came in and stuff like that, and she's nice to look at. I'm not gonna keep that a secret,
Right.
Because like she's one of the females that I actually like to watch, wrestle and everything else. When AJ Lee left, and that was the next girl that I kept my eye on, and I knew that she was going to be a star, especially when she said she's got ties. She's a cousin to Snoop Dogg, so it's like, okay, let me go check this girl out, But you've seen this woman rose to the occasion and made history over time, coming in with keeping competitive relationships with Charlotte Flair and who was those top divas at the time, Becky Lynch and Bayley. Yeah, and all this. So she was making history a lot of stuff like that. So now it's like I said, it's time to put stocks into new females, stuff like that. And Bianca Belair, man, I've known about her in NXT, but I've never kept up with NXT enough to really be invested in her. I just thought that she was going to be somebody that was just going to be in the in a footnote of history or back or whatever stuff like that. But like I didn't think they would have put any investor, but any stocks in her until I actually seen her like her personality shine more and more and more in the WWE, especially when she especially when they put her up in the main roster with no crowds and everything else, because like her backstory was that when she was invited to the main roster, and then on top of that she won the Royal Rumble. She's done all this without a crowd and stuff like that, without the support of her family and stuff like that, So just watching her upcoming as a main event superstar or stuff like that, it was just inspiring, because like she's setting more eyes on the product for more black women, to be a part of, like, to one day want to be a WWE superstar themselves, So it's nice to have that representation on screen, but as a superstar of her own, who's in the WWE whooping ass and getting that title from Sasha Banks, stuff like that was a great defining moment, and she's got great in-ring ability, man. Like she's fit, she's muscular as fuck. She's even bigger than her husband, And,
she's strong as fuck.
If you don't know her husband, she's Montez Ford, who's Kenneth Crawford, who's part of the Street Profits. So
who?
I was like, how is your Montez Ford?
Oh man, I think I've seen the picture.
Yeah, the dude, the motherfuckers with the red cuffs, man. Who's got to be street in the WWE?
Hey, look, I sent you that clip, Donovan, of when he flipped out of the ring and busted his ass on the ramp when nobody caught him. You remember that?
Oh shit, that was him?
Yeah, that was him, bro.
Oh,
he flipped.
Man.
He flipped out of the ring. Flipped out of the ring and ate the ramp, man. But
yeah.
Yeah, that was but oh man, all right, my bad. So in ring, in terms of the way that kind of the way that the match played out, is this one of those true WrestleMania main events? They gave you that big match type of feel that the crowd was invested in and everything like that. Because my feeling on that is, if this is a one-night event, if this is one of those 7-8 hour WrestleManias, I don't know that the crowd is able to invest in the performers, and I don't know that the right amount of time is there to be able to tell that story. So is this one of those matches that you could put up there, maybe not on the same scale, but could you put this up there with the, for the women, is this one of those that you could put up there with a Shawn versus, Bret Hart, a Randy Savage versus a Ric Flair, one of those true WrestleMania title match main event kind of things? Did it have that feeling as you're watching it?
You can go ahead,
in a women's aspect, it's I guess I can't really say right now, because I'll probably have to sit here and see what's out in the future, but as of right now, like, I could see its possibility. It's kind of one of those things, is like, you got to let it age a little bit before you can sit there and say that that's a defining moment, because there's times where I have to let a couple of other matches and stuff like that, that I felt like it'll be a defining of two of these competitors' careers and stuff like that, because Sasha Banks on her own has been in a couple of matches on herself that was actually pretty defining of women's compatibility and stuff, like when they're in the when it comes to making history and stuff like that, but for Bianca and Sasha, I can only say probably in Bianca's eyes, it's probably historical for the fact that she won the title and stuff like that. But we'll just have to see. But other than that, it's just one of those things that I really hope that Bianca Belair does more in the future to define what you guys would define as historical. But as far as I know, it's just the start of her her main event in ring push, to see where this goes, but we'll have to find out.
Right. Currently as it stands, no. Possibly in the future, maybe. It's just like again, like the year and a half, the year of some change with no live audience. The fact that this was a 4 or 5 hour show instead of the 8+ hour show, that helped get people energized for the match. The crowd was into it. When the bank statement hit, there was like some oohs and ahs. Is she gonna tap? Is she gonna tap? The crowd was impressed with like Bianca's strength of just holding Sasha up in the air, and some of the moves that were made. For us personally, maybe not, but for for the little black girls or other female viewers of color who watch this match to see two black women going for the WWE SmackDown's Women's Championship match, this might be their Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. This might be that magical match for them that makes them a fan for a lifetime. Because, I'll be honest with you. 10 years ago, if you told me this shit happened, I would say you're fucking out of your mind. This is fake. There's no way in hell WWE is doing anything like this. So, as it stands, not really. I think it's circumstantial that it was still a decent match, and I think we're just hungry for something above, shitty matches or mediocrity. And WrestleMania kind of provided a little bit more higher energy and a little bit above par performances that we've seen out of these guys for the last year and some change. So as it currently stands, no, but that could change. And also that, hey man, it was still a defining, shining moment for a young woman's career. And who knows, this could just be like Orrion said, just a glimpse of things to come in Bianca's career, and she might top herself even next year with a performance.
Yeah, I could say that my ending note of this and stuff like that in conclusion is like for this whole entire matchup with Bianca Belair and stuff like that, it was wholesome. The match is just wholesome.
Yeah, it was wholesome, very very wholesome, very like a nice feel good moment for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I'm. Like I said, I didn't see the match. I will say that I'm glad that it was a one-on-one because they had the opportunity a couple years ago and kind of fucked it up by making it a triple threat match. I'm glad that they let this be a proper one-on-one match, and like you were saying, I think I do think that the moment is still a little bit too fresh to kind of judge it up against other things that have happened in years prior. But I do think that the years are going to be kind to this match because of the way that it played out and the genuine emotion from the two parties involved. Any other thoughts y'all have on night one of WrestleMania?
For me, just it had good energy. It had the matches I wanted to see, with the exception of a few. And despite the weather delay and despite some of the technical difficulties and the nipple slips and all the botchamania, it was still a very solid show. Again, in context, we may not be saying this if it was compared to previous years' work. Just because of the pandemic, man, just how crappy the WWE product has been the last year, man. It's been hard. It's been hard watching some of this shit, and the fact that these performers are able to get a little bit more juice and a little bit more energy into their performances this tonight, like it's definitely a high point. And maybe later on we'll look back and say that, okay, maybe we can look back in context saying, yeah, they didn't wrestle in front of a live crowd for over a year. So we can actually see it with a magnifying glass and appreciate it for what it is. So night one, I think they knocked it out the park. And I think that all those guys can kind of go home proud knowing that they got the show done and they got it pretty much as smoothly as done as possible despite all the technical difficulties.
Okay, well, I'm conclude mine and say that at night one, I think that all it did was fulfill of the year and some change absence of WWE crowds, stuff like that. So this year's WrestleMania, man, it was just nothing but a fulfillment type deal where everybody else like there's that feeling of, okay, you know, I've actually got a chance to enjoy what WWE wrestling is supposed to feel like again, you know, because you kind of take for granted of crowd reactions and crowd noises and crowd, you just take it for granted of all that, you know. So all I could say is like, you know, it's just not, it's fulfilling, but for me to rate it of like, you know, from one of the greatest WrestleManias, no, it's not. It's really not.